and Teens familia is Latina in charge, Angelo Sada from Hispanicize here in Houston, and I have a very, very special guest. Okay, just the battery, but we're still good. We're still good. We're live here. We have a very special guest talking about a very special topic. So thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
We met earlier in one of the workshops for los Tweens and Teens, and she shared her passion. So can you please share with our familia what is your passion?
Yes, so hello familia, my name is Brianne C. I am the people engineer. And so I actually was telling our wonderful hosts that I have my mechanical engineering degree, but I've worked in defense, for the Army, doing helicopter repairs, traveling the world, doing aerospace manufacturing, and how just cool and fun engineering really is. I actually go around to the state of Texas, all over the nation, and kind of help students just like yourself see how cool and fun math and science really is. I know in school it gets kind of boring sometimes, you really don't understand how it's applicable when you get to see how a car is put together, or we just use the roads and bridges and we don't even think every day that that's an engineer had to design it to make sure that it was safe for everyone. So that kind of cool fun stuff is like really amazing, and we definitely need more Hispanics, more Latinas doing it. So I'm more than happy to have a discussion about how cool and fun it is.
I love it. And she seemed cool and fun as well, right? Just talking about it got me excited. So when she said the people's engineering, she really meant it. She's not like trying to be cute or nothing. Like, this is her business card, the people's engineering. So literally she have a real passion about sharing her amazing career with adults and kids alike. So tell us, I posted that we're talking about STEM. So for those parents that don't know what STEM really means, can you tell us a little bit about that? And why you think more kids should be introduced to it, or let them explore with it more?
Yeah, so absolutely. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. As you all know, math and science are kind of the harder subjects in school, and so a lot of times kids get deterred, and so parents, when they get frustrated, oh, I don't want to do this, push them and say, what's going to get better? You're going to have the sense of accomplishment when you finally get it. And so what actually math and science for you parents, it really helps kids to be able to face problems, deal with it, be under stress, because this is the first time in their life they've really been stressed, and then how do they work through it? So then you start building that character. So when things get difficult, when life gets difficult, you don't just quit and leave. You have to fight through it. And our Hispanic community, we fought so much. We're fighters, we're workers. We know how to work hard and we know how to get through stuff. And so being able to see more Latinos, more Latinas in these science and technology, engineering and math fields, to be able to overcome and just kind of have grit and push through it, be resilient. And so there's all kinds of really cool technology, anything from cancer research to, again, building buildings of, the new car, maybe even someone, I'm sure it's going to be a Latino engineer to be able to invent a flying car. And so there's all kinds of really cool stuff, everything from the food we eat, to the clothes we wear, to the cars we drive, and even now technology. Everyone has a cell phone, everyone, is online and being able to be in the interwebs of everything, and all of that is technology. And so being as a part of the Latino community, we need to be a part of that progress, because if not, they're going to be creating things without thinking of us.
I love that. So you said very important aspects there. First, grit. I love that word. Grit is like underused, but it has so much power. And then I love how you mixed problem solving, math problem solving, with live problem solving. I think that was very unique angle, because I don't think we think that way necessarily. And I always say that numbers don't lie, right?
Exactly.
Black and white.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with a math problem, that there's an answer.
Yes.
Right? There's a goal you want to reach. And what you're saying is that working on those math problems allow kids to also apply those same skill of perseverance and finding a solution in their everyday life.
Yes, exactly. And so even that's why I've kind of tokened the phrase of the people engineer, because I help people solve problems. I've had a very rough childhood. I was raised by a single mom, and so just being able to figure out like what my happiness was, what my success was, what were my life goals. And then I've, helped others with their career, with, overcoming depression. There's all kinds of different things that, again, life's going to throw you different curveballs in different ways. But in engineering, we actually learn about the engineering process. And so you have a hypothesis, you have an idea. then you can test your hypothesis and see whether or not it's right or wrong, and then be able to go through that cycle until you find the right answer. And so again, if we look at everything in life as a problem, then we can actually solve it, versus just saying, you know what, it's too hard, I have to quit, or I can't do this, I'm not smart enough, I don't have enough talent. Well, you know what, you're gonna find a way. Build yourself. Go find those resources like we do in engineering and be able to build on that. And so you continue to grow until you're ready to, you know, fly that plane or run that marathon. But a little by little, it's gonna take steps. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, and that's literally the foundation of civil engineering. You have to figure out what you have to be able to use it and to be able to make something great that you have, again, and maybe you're the only person that has that vision or that dream, but if you never quit, you'll never be able to be put down, or anyone will ever hold that over your head, because you refuse to quit until you reach what you're looking for.
I've never been as inspired talking about science in my life, so I hope that you are too. So I like what you said about taking science and thinking about it. Science, technology, STEM is solving problems.
And it really is.
I think that angle about solving problems and building solutions for everyday problems is something that is a good conversation starter for kids too, right? Asking them questions.
Well, even that, I mean, as kids, you're already curious. Yeah. Why is the grass green? Why does it have roots when I pull it out of the ground? And so instead of just, and I know it's very difficult, parents, you know, to say, like, just because it is, right? You don't know. Well, ask them, hey, you know what? Let's go ask Google, or let's go to our museum, or let's try to find a recent scientist and see what they found or how and why. Because the more questions we ask why, the more we're able to push into improving things or making things better, or even helping one another. You know, the first bridge was like, oh, I wonder what's on the other side, versus saying we don't cross the water. Someone said, hey, let's build a bridge, and we're able to cross. And that's, again, now we're able to expand land. Now we're able to expand, you know, our houses, our family. And so it's really cool because, again, anytime we try to suppress those questions, we're suppressing ourselves. And so even the limitations of what we think we're capable of, if someone has a dream to go to the moon or even go to Mars, by all means support that, mom and dad. You know, like, they can do it. And even if they don't, they're going to end up somewhere really great where you're still going to be proud, and they're going to make an amazing legacy for you and your family.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So that's a key takeaway for all of you, is the power of not suppressing those curiosity questions, right?
Exactly.
Like, why is the sky blue? Why not only answer because maybe you're smart and you just tell them how, but rather allow them to discover it.
Exactly.
Why? And maybe even show them experiential, right?
Exactly.
Going in now with technology and going online, and there's no ignorance nowadays, right? You can just look for it. But I think even going a step ahead of just looking for it, because maybe that's too easy, like,
right.
But actually going on a little experiment, going on a little project.
Right.
Were you one of those kids growing up that you were like super curious and wanted to pull apart stuff?
Yeah,
Were you that girl?
Yes, I was. My mom actually grew up wanting to be a welder, and so she was in shop and getting her hands dirty. So whenever I grew up and she saw that I was a very hands-on learner, you know, I could read a book all day, but it wasn't the same as if I got my hands dirty and went and played in the mud and saw that, oh, you add water and it becomes squishy, and then it dries and becomes hard again. Being able to see that, she, you know, really just encouraged me. And so I had a bunch of questions, and she said, well, let's go figure it out. And we would go on adventures, and we would go to the park, and she allowed me to, you know, climb trees and break my leg or beat, and really, you know, just hands-on involved, because she knew that was the way I learned. And so it was really cool because I just grew up with this opportunity that if I could try it, you know, the worst I could say is no, or I could, you know, fail, and then I just get up and try again.
I love it. So go in adventures based on the questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Questions can lead to adventures and projects. So hearing yourself about getting dirty and everything, I will say that some parents may think that if they see their girls playing with mud, they may be tomboys, or they should be playing with Barbies. What would you say to something like that?
Yeah, to me, I would say if your daughters are already just curious enough to get out there in the mud, let her be. You know, I grew up in the time when it was like a tomboy, and it wasn't a bad thing. I wore my hair in a low ponytail, I wore t-shirts and, you know, basketball shorts all the time, just because I wanted to go play. I wanted to compete with the boys, and I was going to be better. And so even now as an engineer, I'm making, you know, 2 or 3 times the amount of money that, you know, girls my age growing up, because I'm just able to learn and to teach people. And so even that, I've become a leader in my community by being able to teach other girls and other females just to be able to have that confidence. And it's okay to, you know, play with Barbies and be imaginative and have a creativity sense to you, but also being able to apply whatever you want. I grew up singing on stage since I was 3, so I was very much, I love makeup and to look pretty, but I also want to get my hands dirty, and I didn't have my nails done because I got my hands dirty too often. So being able to kind of tie all of that, and parents, you'll be able to know once your kids start growing up, they're finding themselves. And so sometimes they're going to kind of get off track, and sometimes you're not going to agree, but being able to just fully support them and love them unconditionally is what you're there for. And whenever you see them get older as adults, you'll notice that you just being able to be there and support them and let them kind of find themselves is more important than anything that you could ever try to make them be. And so even that, again, parents, I know you're wholeheartedly invested into trying to create these perfect little creatures for the rest of the world, but sometimes we're meant to be these unruly kind of rule breakers. Look like people like Elon Musk. No one would have ever thought he's going to start 3 or 4 or 5 companies to change the world, and he is.
That's amazing. So you mentioned about Latinos. What do you think there's maybe a stigma, or it's ignorance, or it's just for coincidence that there's not a lot of Latinos in the engineering field?
I think it's very fearful, that we're very scared to take a chance, and we're very afraid of failing. And then what other people might think of us. We're afraid of, I send Mijo to, MIT and he couldn't make it. What's the family gonna say? Or, what's the town gonna say? And a lot of times our fear holds us back. We're very prideful, we work very hard. And so even if we're working hard for our pennies, we wanna make sure that we know that our pennies are gonna be safe. But a lot of times, with big risk comes big return, and then also with big risk comes big failure. But we have to be solidified in who we are as a people, as a family, to have that support system to say, go out and try it. And if you don't make it, we can always come home and figure out plan B or C. Or we can try again. I go around telling students I had to register for Calculus 2, which is one of the hardest maths in the world, several times. Wow. I didn't pass it the first time, not the second time, and not even the third time. But again, like that grit, my mom instilled in me, well, if you want it hard enough, you're never gonna quit. If it takes you 10 years, you will continue to go back until you finish.
That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Good mom. So what would you say to those moms that say, okay, I support my kid, he's smart, and I want him to do whatever he wants, but engineering is so expensive. We cannot afford it. What would you say to them?
Well, one, I'm actually an advocate and a member of the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, and so we give anywhere over $200,000 worth of scholarships every year. So that's SHPE. There's also Latinas in STEM. There's also the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, and the list goes on and on.
We're going to include those links on the bottom of the comments so you can check it out.
Yeah, and so even that, there are so many different people out there that want to help. There is such a need for diversity in STEM. We need Latino engineers. We need Latina coders. And so there's tons of money that goes untouched every year. So just apply. And then even that, sometimes it is, if it's worth taking out that loan and being able to say, I personally had taken out loans, but it's that investment in yourself. And so even that, the more we come in, maybe not even start at a big school for engineering, go and get your community college or, get dual credit classes. So when you go in, you're already further along and you don't have to wait the 5 or 6 years that usually engineering takes. You start off the bat, you know what you want, and you're going to go for it.
That's wonderful. So scholarships important. It's true. There's so many free resources.
Absolutely.
Free money that we just don't know. And me myself, the same. I was the first one to go to the United States in college. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I remember my parents didn't know about scholarships, and I never applied to one scholarship. I just did the student loans. And then now I'm like, oh my God, there's so much free money that available that it just takes time to apply, right?
Yes.
Research and apply and be have perseverance. But like you said, if you plan ahead and you make it a priority, it is possible. Don't think that because it's expensive you cannot afford it, stop there, right? So I know we can keep talking about this forever and ever, but as a final note, where can parents, teens watching this, they feel inspired with you, they connect with you, they identify you as a strong Latina woman doing this cool stuff? Where can they reach you? You have a blog, right?
Yes.
Tell them about the blog.
Yeah, so please just Google The People Engineer. My name is Brianne C. Martin, which I believe is tagged in this post. So feel free to watch my videos. Actually just recently started vlogging, so you can kind of see my everyday life as a Latina engineer. And even that, I mean, just feel free to reach out to me. I have an Instagram channel, I'm on Twitter, again, my Facebook page, and even on YouTube now. So please feel free. I even have a website. It's just my name, Brianne C. Martin. Again, just feel free to email me. Let me know, again, in any way I can help. Again, scholarships. If you just want to tell me your personal story, I'm more than happy to help and listen as well. So again, any way I can help, I'm more than happy. That's why I'm here.
That's beautiful. So I'm going to include her contact information down below. And of course, like you said, that if you have any questions or any help, and I think it's so important for kids to have those people outside the family members that they can look after, and they are these mentors, these role models outside of the family. So I think I invite parents to, if kids have this interest, actually try to connect them with someone that is doing that, and have a conversation. I think that would be so powerful. Like, what is a day in the life of an engineer? And maybe you don't know about it, but someone else can know. So reach out to Brianne and just support your kids from whatever interests and passions they have, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
it was a
thank you.
pleasure.
Yes,
And continue being an influence.
Wonderful, will do.
Latinos and around all cultures.
Most definitely.
And then we'll see you again back soon in another live here from Hispanicize.
Thanks, bye.